Hi everybody, I wanted to show you something, and if you're seeing this video it means I was somewhat successful. So this is a machine I picked up. It obviously has a lot of issues. It's a fiddle-based VS2, old VS2, which probably in the late 40s or something, someone has thrown Godzilla paint on, redid the stitch length and put this aftermarket deal on it and everything. But what I want to deal with right now is the front slide plate is missing, and this is a common issue with these machines. And if you have a regular Singer 27 plate, yes, it will fit in the slide this way, but it's too short. So my thought is making a new plate, because buying one, finding one and buying one is very, very difficult. I have this, it's a lid from a scented candle, but I think it would make a suitable material for making a new plate. So what I need to do is get this back plate off, which is really tricky. So, let me use my piece of wood and a hammer and kind of try to tap that out. And then I'll take it back to my table. Okay, so I got it off, and as you can see, this plate is the right size width-wise, but it's too short. The plate that I need for this is going to be the opposite of this. So this is the wrong side, this is the back, okay? I need one like this for the front. So what I'm going to do, and I think it will barely fit on here, is just trace around this with a Sharpie marker to try to get a pattern. Alrighty, so I admit I'm not too sure exactly what I'm doing. There I am, safety goggles on. And I'm just going to try to put a grinder wheel on here. I already got started. It's making a little bit of a dent there. I'm hopeful that if I make it just barely slightly too big, then I can come back with a grinding or sanding or something to smooth out the edges and make it actually fit. So I have a feeling this is going to take a while. I'm just going to take it one step at a time, but I thought I'd show you. Okay, I wanted to show you. I got this first part here cut. I think I've run down a lot of my battery, but it's actually working. So I'm just going to keep on working my way around. Okay, so it actually is supposed to be this way is the right side. I still need to grind the edges because it's very sharp, but so far so good. So yeah, I'm going to take this to a grinder and do a little protective work on the side so I don't cut myself, and then we'll see if it works. So in case you're curious, first I use my fiber wheel here just to knock the loose, rough stuff off of it. And then I came back with this orange grinder stone wheel thing on my Dremel, and I ran that around the edge. And I think it's feeling good, so I'm going to go ahead and take it over to the machine and see if I can slide it on. Now obviously it's not nearly as thick as the original plate, but I just need it to be able to go over it so that it'll protect that shuttle as it goes back and forth for the machine to operate. So it's looking pretty good. I put the old one back in, but I'm going to need to hone it in on the sides just a little bit because it is just slightly, ever so slightly too wide to go in that slot. And these slots are deeper on the bottom than on the top, so just be aware of that. So let me shave off just a bit from the side and I'll be right back. And there you go, it is on. It'll slide out. Yes, it is not perfect. And I have my hammer here because this case is, worse. It's going to be replaced eventually. But knowing that I can cover up this area with my new, very shiny plate, that's enough motivation for me to say, okay, it's okay. I can have a complete machine and I can go ahead and get this one restored. So hope you like that. Hope it was helpful to somebody, and I will see you next time. Hello everybody, welcome back. So top view here, I'm trying out new angles. We'll see how it works. This is a much worked over VS2, I believe. I haven't looked up the number yet, so I'm not sure her exact year. But from what I can tell, well, you can't really see her at that angle, can you? At one point, she was original, of course, and then someone put probably around the 40s. This seemed to happen a lot around the late 1940s, early 50s. Her stitch length was changed out for one of these 𝐥𝐤𝐤𝐞 models here, which does give you reverse, which is kind of cool, and I'll go into that another video another time. She was Godzillaed. She had power added to her and a light added to her. She was originally not. She has a little aftermarket kind of tension deal going on here, a newer style tension knob here. Lots of changes. I want to put her back, you know, my beautiful version of original. But one of the big problems with her is she was missing the front slide plate. And this is a big problem with these fiddle-based machines because you can't really buy them. They don't have a, at this point, give me a minute, but at this point there is not a place where you can just buy a remanufactured one. So pretty much they're all cannibalized and they're pretty scarce. So if you go on the chats and everything, they'll say, oh, well, try cutting one out of a credit card and slide it in, which, you know, sounds kind of ugly to me. But my first attempt at this was actually cutting one out of a chrome lid, okay? And I did cut it out, and it did fit, but it's very thin, so you'd have to like laminate it on top of another thing, and it was not optimal, I'll say that. Let me get this wire out of the way. Of course she needs a new case, of course. Okay, so this was my next thought, and it actually worked pretty well. So, oh, this is the piece that I cut out of that plate, that lid, and you can see it does slide in, you know, and in a pinch it can work. It's just thinner, you know, it's just thinner than the regular plates are. Okay, I got another one of these. I'm not going to show you right now because she's going to get worked on too eventually. So I was able to use her plate as a model. So if you can see, that's the plate from my new machine, and it fits. So what I decided to do is I made a casting out of this in silicone, and I ordered the silicone mix on Amazon. This is what I used, and I have a whole lot left over, so I've got enough silicone mix here to make a whole lot. And there's basically 2 bottles, you mix them together in equal amounts, you know, by measuring or weight or whatever. Stir it really, really good and put it into a casting. And I had this plastic, something came in, I don't remember, but you know, you save the cool boxes. And that worked out perfect as a little case for my mold. So what I did is I put my mold with this side down, okay? And then poured the silicone over it, and that way I would be molding this little indented area and everything like that. All right, so this is the result. Once I had it done, I flipped it over. Okay, so it was that way, and I flipped it over, and this is it. And if you can see, I do have that little indent, and I don't think the camera can pick it up, but I even have some of the little writing that is just about worn off here. I have that in here also, which is pretty cool. So my thought was I can cast a slide plate. It's not going to be metal, obviously, because silicone won't hold up to a hot metal cast. But what I used is clear JB Weld. All right, so again, this is just what I did in my first try. I might do something different the second try. It took about half of a container, and again, you put down equal amounts, stir them up very, very well to get the hardener and the epoxy and everything mixed very well. And then I smoothed it in here, you know, filled it actually a little over and it seemed to shrink in. Went away for a few days, as I do, and when I came back, I'm going to show you what came out of here. Okay, so, sorry, I'm trying a new camera mount overhead and it's wiggling. So this is what came out. Now it does have bubbles in it, and this is the back side, okay? So you can see it's shiny, it's like a plastic. I didn't really sand this. This is pretty much how it came out of the mold. I just knocked any loose stuff off the sides, but I didn't sand it, I didn't bevel it. It is what it is, okay? So this is the right side. If you can see, whoops, this is the right side. If you can see, it's got that little divot. It does have a lot of air bubbles. I don't know how to get rid of the air bubbles because when you mix up the epoxy, it kind of does that. But it looks kind of like antique glass, you know, but it's the right thickness, okay? And if I slide it in, it fits. Now, I don't think that this is the total perfect medium to use because this has a tendency to soften at times, and I don't know if that's because I didn't mix my hardener exactly right or something like that, so I might try a different epoxy and everything. But as you can see, it does work, and being clear, you can see that shuttle moving back and forth underneath it, which is also pretty cool. So is it a perfect slide plate? No, but it will work, and it is good enough that I can safely put this machine on my project list. You know, it will make it so it's functional. Because otherwise, if you don't have a front slide plate, you can't sew. So anyway, I just thought I would mention that because, you know, lurking around in the different chats, sometimes I see people trying to come up with a solution for this, and I just wanted to show you. That is my solution for right now. So if I mold this again with a different medium than this, or if you have suggestions of one that you have used, that you know hardens very hard and quickly without all of the air bubbles, let me know in the comments. Can't wait to see that. And yes, this machine will eventually be a project machine that I will be putting up, but I just wanted to show you that for now. So thanks for watching. Bye-bye.